Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this video on the Virgo new moon. So this new moon is happening on August 27th at 4:16 a.m. Eastern time, and it's offering us a closer look at our daily routine and the ability to notice the small little shifts and changes we can make that actually lead to massive transformation. This new moon is also an opportunity to up-level our mindset and shift our perception. And as we do that, we open up new doors of opportunity. So I'm going to share my screen today so we can go into detail on how you can manifest by working with these energies. And if you are new to me and my channel, welcome. It is so wonderful to have you here. If you've followed me for a while, of course, a warm welcome to you as well. I appreciate you so much. So I'm an Akashic astrologer, so I work within the Akashic records, and I also study the planetary shifts, and I love to bring both together to help you tap into the highest timeline possible for your life and business. So if this resonates, be sure that you subscribe. I would love to support your journey. So let's dive right in here to these new moon energies. It's a very powerful new moon, and I love the shifts that we can really make in this energy at this time. New moons are always new beginnings. There's an opportunity to really go within and look at what we desire to manifest, what we desire to create, and to really come back to our truth. We're not meant to be in motion all the time. We're not meant to always be in action mode. And the new moon is that time where we are called to relax, to take a break, and to reassess what we are working toward. So this is the new moon down here conjunct the sun at 4 degrees of Virgo. Anytime it is a new moon, the sun and moon are in the same astrological sign. They are in the same degrees. So looking at the Virgo energy and understanding the Virgo archetype is very important to fully understanding the energies of this new moon. So Virgo really places that spotlight on our daily schedule, on our daily routine. It's also very much connected to well-being, our physical health, our wellness, the thoughts that we are entertaining. And often when we think about change and transformation, we think we have to do something drastic. Like in order to create a shift in our life, that it has to be these big decisions that we make. And this new moon reminds us that it's actually focusing on the things that we do consistently. It's the things we do consistently that add up to get us the results we are receiving in our life. So this new moon, really take time to explore what that daily routine looks like and what is something you are called to change that could lead to a big transformation in your life. This could be as little as taking time in the morning to meditate before you jump online and scroll through social media. Those types of little shifts that can bring you back to yourself and what you truly desire, and just detaching from the energy around you. There's been so many shifts unfolding at this time. The energy throughout August has been very powerful, very potent. For some of us, it can feel very chaotic. And when we wake up and we jump on social media right away, or we check our emails right away, it's like we're pulled into that chaos without first becoming really grounded and centered. So take that time to set your intentions for the day, how you desire to show up. So important. What I love about the Virgo energy as well is it really reminds us that we can be whole onto ourselves. So what I mean by that is so often we, look externally for things to satisfy or bring about a certain feeling in our life, or we expect other people to act in a certain way, or we think we need to have our soulmate partner before we feel complete. And the Virgo energy is really about finding that completeness, that wholeness within ourselves, and not looking outside of ourselves in order to achieve that. Now, this doesn't mean that we can't manifest incredible things. We are here to fully enjoy this earth experience. It doesn't mean that we can't spend our life with our twin flame or soulmate partner. We absolutely can. It just means we don't want to depend on that in order to have a certain level of joy and satisfaction in life. We want to know how to generate that ourselves. The Virgo energy is also very much about service. It's about showing up, sharing your soul gifts. We each have soul gifts. You incarnate with a unique soul blueprint, a unique energetic signature that's changing and shifting the planet by you simply being here. That's incredibly powerful. And I know if you found your way to my video that you feel that calling, you know you are here and you incarnated on the earth plane to do really big things, that you have gifts to share. And it's really powerful just to step back and realize that simply by being here, you are changing the vibration of the planet in a really beautiful way. And then on top of that, when you have the confidence, what Virgo really invites us to do is to really look at not just what we are getting, what we are receiving, but what we are giving, how we are contributing to the planet, how we are using our soul gifts. And we can sometimes get so much in our head around it and let our ego take over, and we're afraid of showing up. We're afraid of being visible. We think there's too many people that are already sharing the message we are sharing, and basically we make it all about ourselves instead of how showing up and sharing your sacred gifts, your sacred medicine, how that can have a positive impact on someone else. When we get out of our ego and we focus on the change that we want to see on the planet, it becomes much more easy to show up. Now, the shadow side of this energy, every astrological sign has a higher octave and a lower octave of expression, and it's really important and helpful to know both, so we can know where we're falling on that spectrum. So with Virgo, in the shadow or lower octave expression, it can become overly critical. So this is an opportunity to look at where you are being overly critical of yourself. Maybe even as I just shared about sharing your gifts and showing up, and maybe you're already, that inner critic is jumping in and saying, I should be doing more. I'm too focused on my own fears and I'm not looking at how I can benefit others. So notice where that inner critic is stepping up in your life. This can also be where we are becoming overly judgmental or critical of other people. We want to be aware of that. We don't want to be stuck in the energy of judgment or criticism. It just doesn't feel good. Now, the other side of this expression that we want to be aware of as well is where we are being in service, but out of a feeling of obligation. Being of service, giving to others, but from a space of I should do this. I have to do this. In order to be a good person, I have to take this action. I have to give to others. I have to prioritize other people's needs before my own, instead of a desire to do that. Because when we're giving back or we're prioritizing other people before ourselves, out of this sense of obligation, we build resentment. And then we become exhausted and drained and burnt out, and maybe feeling like we're giving more than we're receiving. So when you step back and really take a look at giving from a place of desire, that's a whole different vibe. That's a whole different energy. When we give because we desire to give, we don't expect anything in return. We don't feel like we have to give or we have to show up in a certain way to be a good person. We give because we desire to. So really being aware of where in your life you may be overextending in your business, in your relationships, over giving, and you're noticing some of that resentment building. You want to catch that this new moon and say, I'm going to do an energetic reset here. I'm going to come back from giving from a space of overflow and desire, not out of a sense of obligation. Now, there's one main aspect this new moon is making, and that is to Mars. So you can see a square formation here, an exact square between the new moon and Mars over here in the sign of Gemini. So Mars is in Gemini for an extended stay. We have 7 months to work with this energy. So Mars is the planet of drive, of ambition, of motivation. Very revealing when we understand the Mars placement in our chart, because it really shows how we use our manifesting and life force energy to create, how that can be used again in the highest octave or the lowest expression, and where we are on that spectrum. Now, Mars in Gemini is all about expanding into new possibilities, exploring new ideas. What I love about this energy here is Mercury is the ruler of both Mars and Gemini. So that's where we have this theme of up-leveling our mindset. And what I'm really feeling from the records around this as well is we're cultivating a deeper awareness of the thoughts that we are entertaining. Thoughts are not absolute truths. They're simply options. There's many thoughts that exist in the field that we can tune into in any given moment. And this new moon is an opportunity to be more intentional about the thoughts we are entertaining, the stories we are creating around the thoughts that we have, and how they're serving us, how they're not. And it's okay. And I would recommend letting go of any and all thoughts that don't align to your vision, that don't serve where you are going, and that are maybe just based on old patterns, thinking the same thing today because you thought it yesterday. Time to mix that up. And Mars in Gemini really is about exploring new possibilities, seeing things in a new way, seeing things through a new light. Now, this also brings into question how you're using your energy, and there may be Mars in Gemini, there can be a tendency to be scattered. All these ideas, but implementing none. I know this is really big for creatives. I work with a lot of creatives. Lightworkers tend to be very creative as well. And we have all these ideas, but it's like, okay, how do I implement them? And the magic is when we learn to take the idea and we know how to implement it and share it in the world, right? To make it tangible. So we want to be aware of this transit of where our focus is being very scattered, where we are all over the place to the point where nothing is getting done, which can happen when we have a lot of ideas. We're like, okay, all these possibilities, but we're so overwhelmed by it that nothing happens. So I always invite my clients to run with the idea that has the most energy behind it, because that's where the momentum builds. And in your business, if you are really lit up and excited about an idea, a message, a program, other people will feel that and they'll be drawn to that. They'll respond to your energy. So be very aware of what you're giving your attention toward. Practice focus. Practice focusing and seeing the idea through. You can always come back and circle back to other ideas later on as well. Just feeling into how else this energy can be expressed here. It's quite powerful, this square formation between the moon and Mars. This can be intense emotions that we are feeling as well. There could definitely be an intensity to this new moon. So it is going to be really important that you're staying really grounded and you know what helps you stay grounded, what helps you stay centered. Going back to this idea of exploring your daily routine, what are the practices, the habits that help you come back to that centered, grounded space? You're going to want to draw on that during this new moon. Now, the ruler of this new moon is Mercury. Mercury is currently in the sign of Libra, forming a trine with Mars. So Mars is coming in again here. So Mercury in Libra is very diplomatic and again feeds into this theme around seeing things through a new perspective, being able to see things through someone else's point of view. It's a very important skill to have, to not just be so in our world that we can't understand that anyone else could possibly see things through a new light. Mercury in Libra is about that understanding. Instead of judgment, be curious, ask questions. This doesn't mean you still can't be strong and solid in what you believe. It's simply about that curiosity instead of judgment. And we can really should as well, or it's a good idea to bring that curiosity toward our own beliefs too, our own thoughts. Instead of just seeing it as an absolute truth, become curious. Instead of being critical or harsh or judgmental toward ourselves, be loving and compassionate and curious, right? It's like, I like to have fun with it and play with it, and just I'll often say like, oh, that was an interesting life decision, or that was a curious decision. Like, instead of judging it, just really like, oh, that's interesting. And that curiosity puts it in a whole new light, as opposed to being really harsh with ourselves. And when we're in that energy of curiosity, we can create change and shifts with greater ease. Now, I also feel this opposition here. We got Saturn in Aquarius with Venus in Leo here is quite powerful as well, this Venus-Saturn opposition. Venus is what you love, and Saturn is like the work and discipline to see it through. And I think it really is important at this new moon to, again, come back to what you desire to create and share with the world, and creating the discipline and structure in order to bring your ideas and your message out into the world. Don't just leave it as an idea. Don't just leave it there. Look at bringing it into fruition. And Also, this Saturn Venus opposition is really looking at what you love in the world. What you're giving your energy and attention to, is that a reflection of what you value? Is that a reflection of what lights you up at the end of the day? The message from the records around this is really looking at how you define success as well, and moving away from societal definitions of what success is and coming back and looking at, what does success mean for you in your life, in your business at this time? What does it mean for you? That's why I'll often refer to it as soulful success, meaning a reflection of your soul, your soul's path, your soul's desires. That's the kind of success you want to be looking at, right? Not placing it externally. Saturn is also squaring Uranus. This has been on and off over the last couple of years, and it's really about shifting and changing old structures, old paradigms, and expanding into the new. So we're seeing political changes taking place. We're really seeing just shifts on the planet, the ascension that's happening on the planet, where old systems that they no longer are going to fit in to where we are going. We are creating something new. I'll often talk to my clients about this as well. You didn't come to fit into an old paradigm, an old structure, an old way of doing business. You came here to create a new one. One that isn't about working to exhaustion and burnout, or thinking that you have to do something you dislike in order to make money. It's about you receiving abundantly for your soul gifts and prioritizing what you need, because as you do that, you're a gift to the planet. You're a gift to your clients. You're a gift to the world when you give from that place of overflow. So I'm going to stop the share here, and the final message I want to share with you that's been coming in from the Akashic Records. There's actually a few messages, but the main one that I'm really feeling called to share at this time is around flexibility and adaptability. So really taking a look at where you may be too rigid in your routine, and it's actually time to switch things up. It's time to shift things in order to get a new result. When we are too rigid in how we do things, eventually we stop the growth and expansion from occurring. We get so stuck in a routine that we not only get bored, but it's like we've boxed ourselves in and we don't see other possibilities. So be willing to make those changes to your routine. Be willing to allow this cosmic energy to help you see things in a new light, to help you see where those small little tweaks and changes. This can also be around how you fuel your body. Virgo is very related to nutrition and our health and what we're taking in, how we're fueling our body. Little changes there can be huge as well to your energy level and so many aspects of your life. So take a look at that routine from a loving, compassionate space and be flexible enough to make those necessary changes. All right, so that is our new moon video. I'm going to attach some links below for you if you want to connect on Instagram for more inspiration. I would love to connect with you there as well for more guidance on co-creating with cosmic intelligence. Definitely join me there. If you want to go deeper into exploring your Akashic records and joining me for new and full moon rituals, the Divine Creators Inner Circle is the place to be for that. So I'll attach the link below to the Inner Circle. You'll have immediate access to incredible content that's part of the library. So different meditations, Akashic record activations, even trainings on growing your business through working with cosmic intelligence. So I am sending you all so much love. Enjoy this beautiful new moon in Virgo, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.